Oh my. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I
Wait.
come with a 2x sword and forced to mash up the arena, mash up the arena, mash up the arena. I come with a 2x sword and forced to mash up the arena.
Oh, jeez. Alright. I'm just gonna lay it out there. This one is something that I've been spotting everywhere, and for the most part, I've tried to avoid it because I don't know about you, but at a certain point, I get obsessed. I get fed up. Obsessed, you know. I get fed up, and the title is Relationship Obsession. Relationship obsession, man. Relationship obsession. Let me explain. Let me explain. You know what I'm talking about is people that no matter what you talk to them about, it always comes back to relationships. No matter what, it always comes back. It could be talking about a car, relationship. Talking about airplane, relationship. Talking about music, relationship. It just always comes back to relationship and hooking up with someone. You know that, and I'm talking about every demographic. You know what? Some people who's always trying to set you up with someone and tell you who to be with. You know them people, them friends that they feel they know what's right for you, and they're always trying to tell you who to be with, or just because you're good friends with a lady or someone of the opposite gender, you must be together. You know what I'm saying? Them people, they're always asking if you know what I'm saying? People who start planting seed, that's dangerous. For example, let me go back for a second. Let me go back. When you're in a good friendship with a female or a male, be very careful about people who start trying to plant seeds of relationships and romance, because it can spoil that friendship. Because you start thinking about things you never thought about before. You start getting awkward about things you never used to get awkward about before. And of course, both sides will notice this. And it's not even that there's any original romantic feelings. But as you know, we're relational creatures. So it's easy to start thinking something else when there wasn't a need to. And then, well, worst case scenario, you hook up with the girl and it don't work out, so your friendship's ruined. You know, that kind of thing. Be very careful, man. You know, when you date people as well, look, when I'm dating someone, when I'm seeing someone, I'm very quiet about it. If anything, maybe 3 people max will know, and they have to be very tight-lipped. I don't tell people when I'm seeing someone and it's in the budding stages. Why? Because look, man, sometimes when too many people know, too many people are trying to give you advice, there's too many cooks and trying to cook the same, too many cooks spoil the broth. Have you heard of that saying? Too many cooks spoil the broth. Everyone's trying to cook the same stew. It can make things more confusing, more difficult. Everyone's over scrutinizing and asking unnecessary questions. And this is what I call relationship obsession. And it could be anyone. They could be married, single, divorced, old, young, newlywed. There's so many people with that obsession, to the point where as soon as they know your relationship, they care about your relationship more than you, in a certain way, where when you meet them, what you used to talk about don't matter no more. They always go back to your relationship. They always want to know every little bit and piece of that relationship, forgetting that this can be very, very fragile and sensitive and personal thing. And I think it's a very dangerous thing, especially if you're I got caught up in that for a while, but I had to step back and jump out. Like, okay, this is a bit much. You can actually be harming someone. You can actually be harming friendships when you're trying to make it something it's not. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful with these things. And that's what I want to talk about. Man, it's... my gosh. And for the people, this is another demographic I'm about to talk about. For people who get into a relationship just for the attention. You get into a relationship or you get married just because of the gifts, the party, you want to wear the stuff. All your friends are getting married, so you become more conscious of it. Be careful. Be very careful. A relationship is not what you get into just because you want attention from people. Believe you me, you'll fall flat in your face if you're not prepared for it. There's a lot involved. There's thinking about someone else, not just yourself. There's all sorts. There's dealing with the person's good sides and their flaws. Dealing with the person's family members. When you marry someone, you marry their family and their friends too, trust me. To a certain extent, more the family than the friends, depending on how tight a friend is. So this whole relationship obsession, be careful about jumping into somebody else's relationship. Be careful about jumping into relationships just because everyone else is doing it. Be careful about getting obsessed about this thing, because there's a lot more to life than getting married. There's a lot more to life than that. It's a beautiful and amazing thing if it's done right, of course. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, don't become obsessed with it, where it's all you can think about and you can't function if you're not in one. Some people are relationship dependent. You can't just think that just because you're not in a relationship that that's the end of your life. You were alive long before the whole concept of relationship came into your mind. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband or wife, like fiance, whatever. There's more to life. Yes, it's amazing if you meet someone that's good for you. But I think it's bad when you're doing it for the wrong reasons and you become obsessed with it. When you are getting obsessed about somebody else's relationship and that's all you can think about, whether you want to help it or not. Some people even become obsessed to the point where they start competing. Really? Like, you're trying to compete with a relationship that's not yours. Be careful. For the most part, somebody else's relationship is not your business. For the most part. I mean, I can't think of a scenario where it would be your business. I don't know. But for the most part, somebody else's, whether it's your brother, your sister, unless you don't think it's healthy, then you can give advice. But when you're trying too hard to control and get involved, some people don't even know they're doing that. Relationship obsession. Be very careful, man. And I see it's all over music. It's all over movies. In fact, some movies are so predictable that they're boring to me. I want to see amazing storylines I don't expect. Well, okay. You know, when you're watching a movie, a guy, then it comes into contact with a woman he's arguing with at the beginning. Well, you know they're going to hook up in the end. It's like, I'm paying money in the cinema for this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's an action movie. Oh, there comes the chick. Yep, they're going to hook up. It becomes boring. Like, be careful about being relationship obsessed. There's nothing wrong with paying attention and focusing on getting yourself with someone if you really want someone to love, but don't become obsessed about it in any demographic. Trust me, there is something called relationship obsession. Don't be obsessive. Obsessive people tends to be the ones people run away from, whether you're obsessive about helping, whether you're obsessive about helping, whether you're obsessive about getting into one, whether you're obsessive about it predominantly. Be careful. It can be creepy. Anyways, that's it. Unique creation. Don't be obsessed. Be balanced. I'm out.
Mash up the arena. Mash up the arena. Mash up the arena. I come with a 2X sword enforcer. Mash up.